think it's the most difficult situation for every players, and which I'm going through right now, because I feel for every human beings, the hardest thing to feel is when you prepare for something, when you do everything you can, especially for me as a footballer, going to the gym, sleeping early, eating the right food, staying mentally good and training hard. You do everything, but when you don't get that result for a long time, and that's when you start to question yourself. But it's a really hard pace, a thin line between giving up or not giving up, because every person, human being in their life need a progression, at least something to happen in their life to feel like, okay, something is changing, to do the process. Even when that doesn't happen, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to keep going. And I feel like I'm facing the most difficult time of my entire career. This was the most difficult year for me, but I'm finding a way to smile, be a human being, and understand this is life, and there's always ups and downs, and there's going to be a good time coming up. And try to stay positive, because you can never do something bad to the process that you've been doing just because of you're not getting a result. That will come for sure. Your hard work never goes anywhere. So I'm trying to stay positive, finding something to always smile on, try to socialize more, be with my friends, and they make me feel a lot better. My parents, especially, they're the ones who are always going to be there for me, that I know, and I feel the love from them. So I'm just going on, that's it. So for me, my message is to people is that no matter how you feel, try to understand you're a human being and it's part of life, and there's going to be a good time coming, and believe and hope and smile always. I love the question. Let me example myself. This is an amazing question that I love, that I want to talk to people, because everyone thinks you are in football, you have the money, you have everything. No chance, because sometimes money can't buy a lot of things. Money can't buy the time that I can spend with my parents, because you can't buy time. And since I was 13 years old, I left my house, and I know how big of a gap it created between my parents. Sometimes that's the only thing that makes me emotional. And I also miss my sister, because she's at home, and we don't have that connection, like really deep, because it's not her fault, it's not my fault, it's not that my parents' fault, because I never been home. So people think it's easy to be a footballer or to be something different, but it's never easy, because I miss out on my parents and my family a lot, my friends. I can never go there for Christmas. I can never go there for Vishu. I can never go there for important occasions, even a wedding, because profession is the most important thing. And people doesn't understand that. I can never sit with them, eat a good meal at least. And there are so many things we sacrifice, you don't get everything in life. If you go for something, you always miss on something. That's always like that. But I'm trying to find that balance. For that, I need to work hard. Like, I got to go to my family, my other social things outside football, and I also got to do football. That is always extra for me to do, all the footballers. So to be in this level is not easy. And I miss my time that I couldn't spend with my parents or my loved occasions. But it is what it is. I'm enjoying football. I am passionate about football. I love football. So I'm happy, and I can't complain anything. But for sure, I hope, everyone was together here and I could just smile. But I'm happy is that I can always go back home and give them a hug and a kiss and say that I love you. And they say they love me back, and that's the best feeling. I can't ask for nothing more.
Yeah.
Especially in this level, it's not easy, especially in this club. You get criticized a lot when you don't do good, right? So it's not easy, but people doesn't understand how big of a journey it is to be here. So how can I give up? You tell me. There are people who want to criticize me. There can be teammates, there can be coaches, there can be anyone who can criticize me, but I cannot criticize myself, because I got to be there for myself. It's not easy when you get criticized, when people doubt on you, when people talk shit about you, and then you go into that training field. It's not easy to train sometimes. Every time before I tie my boots, I think about my parents and my loved ones, all the teachers, all the people who helped me to be here. And I'm grateful, because when I started, no one was with me. Only few people. And they're still there for me. And that's all I care. So I feel like I came a long way, and I cannot give up. And I feel like I'm close to my dreams. So if I'm so close to my dreams, if I give up here, that would be a mistake. So no matter how I feel emotionally, I got to have that professional mentality to keep going, knowing that things going to be better. And I know things will be better. And it's hard. Like I said, it's hard. Some people can give up mentally, but I try to be strong, self-talking, meditating, a lot of other stuff to do, try to keep myself positive and motivated. And it's love for football again. I will play football even at the age of 40, 45, I know. Not maybe professional, I can still go to the paddy field, play with my friends, play with the kids there. I will be still smiling. That's how I started football. So I don't care what people say. I always love football. And every day I get to do it and I'm happy. That's it. It's not easy. I feel like it's never been balancing. I feel like I'm putting a lot in football, my professional life, and a lesser in the personal life. I don't think I've been able to find that balance together. It's always been like this because it's not easy. Let me say that. Let it be my relationship. Let it be my friends. Let it be my relatives. I lost so many beautiful people that was with me because of football. Let me say that, the connection. Because I cannot act like a normal person. I cannot always go out, chill, sit there, chill with them, eat the food. I mean, I cannot do that. So some people understand it, but some doesn't. The only people understand is like few of my friends and some of my brothers and my parents. Other people, they don't like it. They want me to be with them, go there, do this, do that, but they don't understand what it takes to be here. So it's really difficult to balance it. I never been able to balance it. It's always been more towards football. And I got to sleep on time. Sometimes if I'm having a girlfriend, she might want me to talk different, a little bit extra, but I cannot. Every day I got to do this. And they feel I'm doing a boring job. It's not my life, it's everyone's life. To stay professional, it feels boring. You got to do the same thing again and again. You got to eat right, you got to eat on time, you got to sleep on time, not just one day, every day throughout your career. So it looks boring, and a lot of people been not in my life because they feel like I'll live a boring life. But for me, this is the best life. I'm healthy, I'm happy. I have few people who have trust on me, and that's all I need. I don't need a lot of people on my corner. Few people that's genuine, and that's the important thing for me, and I'm happy.
Yeah, for the
It's not motivating. I would say tell them about my own life, my experience. I don't know anything else. I can only talk from my life and my experience. So if I talk about it, I feel like I'm 24, and time flies. That's all I gotta say. Time flies. Even yesterday before sleeping, I'm thinking I'm 24 years old. I wanted to be in so many places. I wanted to do my best when I was 18, 17, but I'm 24 now, and time flies like this. You have no time to sit and relax or think. It's a fast-moving life, and football is short. So, you got to do everything towards it. Especially sports, it's so, what do you call it, fragile. You got to think about your food, sleep, everything. And if you want to be the best footballer, you got to be that boring person who does the things same every day. And you got to continue it for decades and decades. Then only you can be the top consistently. Because what happens, I feel like, even with me, with the Indian players, there is a player that plays good one season and then goes down. There is no consistency. I feel like only one person that been consistent, also been playing, looking after his top professional in a football way is Sunil Chhetri. I look up to him a lot as an athlete because he's the best, because at this age, I got to respect him for playing football. Because other people, they wouldn't be able to run as fast as him because he looked after himself. And I know what kind of schedule he goes through. And it feels boring for a lot of other people who doesn't understand it. So I mean to say, for kids, what I want to say is, it's not easy. If you want to do it, you got to sacrifice a lot beyond it. But you get to enjoy when you go into that field. And my thing is to do, or tell people, is to enjoy football. Please don't come into the professional league or professional way and then change the way you play. That's what happened with me. I was never this type of player, but I end up here. That's my own fault. I used to be more, just go direct, take the ball, do whatever I want to do. But, sometimes you go under different coaches and they have a different strategy, and then you change your way. Then you end up nowhere. So I want to say, you got to take the risk to be that player you want to be. Messi, Ronaldo, I don't think they think a lot about what others think. They have their plan, they believe themselves, and they do what they want to do. That's why they're on the top. If you're going to scared of people or coaches or anyone, and you're never going to do the things you're good at, so in some years, you'll become a different player that you can't even imagine. And I know that definitely. So have that strength and courage with you, build it, and I would say, just enjoy football, because you won't be able to do it for forever. So as long as you're in it, just enjoy it and be happy. Yes. Let me say that frankly. I felt a lot of time, I can't do this anymore. and I even cried. That's the only thing. I never cry in anything. I can stand like a cold man and not cry even if I see anything worse. But few times I cried in my life is only when I felt like I'm in a terrible state. I mean, I can't do this anymore. I'm saying I feel like the top people always doubted themselves once in a while, and I did that. Somewhere that's what I said. When you try everything, you give everything. You try to stay focused. You try to do everything in training. You try to eat right, do right, everything. You try to give that extra for football. And when you don't get things back, and also when you see people criticizing you, everything, somewhere you feel like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? You never have no idea. But it's again that feeling of keep going because you didn't start. Or I think feeling is just temporary, that changes. Today I can be sad, tomorrow I can be happy. And that's how it changes. So I feel like I cannot rely more on my feelings, how I feel right now. I gotta just think about the process and keep doing it until it gets better for me. For me, even if it takes 3 years, 4 years, no problem. I now took a decision that I'll keep going no matter what people say, no matter what anyone say, because I love myself and I know what it took it to be in this level. So I'm gonna keep going, but it's not easy. Let me say that. I felt so many times like disaster, crazy. But it's again that hope and willingness to keep going. And that's it. I'll keep it short this one because the young players here right now, let it be Nia, let it be Azhar, let it be Ayman, let it be Vipin, let it be Sachin, let it be Yoemba, all the players around, the young players, I try to talk to them and say, listen, bro, if you're going to be a footballer that's going to be in ISL, if you're only going to know us in 20 years after you retire football, if you're only going to know as a footballer, oh, I played in ISL, that doesn't feel good, right? In Premier League, in world football, there is millions of players playing. And only there are few people who is on the top list. So if you cannot be there, what's the fun in it? Just a footballer who played football and retired. There is no fun. And to be there, it's milestones. You gotta do something crazier, something bigger than the other players are not doing. If you want to be the same level as every player, there is no difference. If you want to be the top, you got to take the risk, you got to be that. That's the only way you get to know, and that's the only way people always will remember you. There are only few people India can remember. Who is the top scorer? Sunil Chhetri. Who is the most Indian scorer now? 60 goals, Sunil Chhetri. And for the national team, Sunil Chhetri. There is no players who is in that level, and it takes so many years to be there. And I tell them, you just don't be the player. Even tell myself, and I'm working hard towards it, just don't be a player who just want to participate in the league and just retire from football. Yeah, I played 15 years of football, but I didn't do anything, just being part of the club. Do that extra thing. That's the only way you can be remarkable. People will only remember you if you do something crazy. And I want to be that person, definitely. I want to be on the score sheet. I want to score a lot of goals. That's the only way. I want to be the top scorer. If you don't be different, people are not going to understand you. If you're always going to be the same, there is no fun in it. So my advice or my thing is to people is like to be that person, and it takes a lot, but to be that, then only you be noticed and you get that special treatment, and people only will understand you when you're different. Don't be the same. Just don't play football and retire. Do something different. Be best and know the best, or I don't know, top signing. It's goals. It's goals. Top signing, top scorer, the best player. People be like, oh shit, this guy is crazy. I cannot play against him. He kill us. Oh shit, that guy is best, man. People gotta come there to watch your match. That's fun. I don't want to be just to be a player, and I'll get there. I know. Over years, I changed as a footballer. Let me say that. I used to be more free with football, okay with ball, everything. I lost that tendency. Let me be honest. It's my own fault because of thinking, oh, what if I miss the ball? What if blah blah blah? That's the wrong thing to do. I feel like I'm enough of it. Like you said, maybe I'm half of my career. I'm 24. If I look after my health, everything, I've been looking after my health. I don't know how much I can play because it's football. Anything can happen tomorrow. But I want to play my most, be fit. But I'm really done of pleading or pleasing. I'm done of it because I feel like I didn't do the things that I wanted to do because of the system and everything. I was always playing for the system. Try to be the player that get adopted in every system. I don't want to be that. I want to be myself. Maybe that's gonna make a lot of people feel like blah, but I don't care anymore. I'm done with it. I've experienced everything. I've experienced every criticism, everything. Now I got nothing to lose, and I'm not gonna care what anyone's gonna say. It's my life, and I'm gonna make my decision. Let my life go down or let my life go up. I'll take the responsibility. But I'm gonna make a choice now that I'm not gonna care anymore. I'm gonna play my game, and people have wrong opinion or anyone have wrong opinion. I'm sorry, but I gotta do it because I miss myself. I miss myself a lot now because I changed myself. I thought I'm doing something good for myself, being a doctor and getting things, but I forgot the way how I used to play. I should be more enthusiastic. I should be more always on the go, fight. And then our football, so many people give you a lot of information. You take it, and you change yourself. And now I feel like I changed a lot, that there is a lot of work to do. So now everything is done, and I'm going to go for it. First of all, maybe this is a cheeky thing to say, but my biggest pillar, my biggest supportive system is me, myself. Let me say that. No matter I have parents, I have people around me, at the end, I'm the one who control my feelings and my thoughts, right? They can be there, but I got to do it. They can tell me, okay, go train today as hard as you can, but I got to do it for myself. So for me, the biggest pillar is me, myself, because I know throughout my career, I had to understand myself more than people had to understand me. And there is also sometimes there's been no people, but there was me for myself. So that's first of all me. Let me say that. Then my parents, my loved people around me, my brothers. That's it. It's not a big corner. I have few people who understands me. Very few friends, like countable, one or two, who really understands me as a footballer, who understands my feelings and things. They're the only one I open up, And then my parents, especially my relatives, few of them. And that's it, nothing more. There is no other people that I feel like be my pillars through our years. So many people come in your life now because, you are doing something, you're playing for the club, and they come in because they get attracted to it. But, I only count the people who've been there since the journey. And I'll never forget about the people who helped me to be where I am. And I'm always grateful. And I know where I came from, and I always go back to them and thank them because they helped me to be where I am. And I cannot forget those people who helped me when I had nothing. Because now it's easy for people to come in my life and you want this, it's easy. But there was a difficult time when I was nothing. The people had no idea that I would make it, but they still supported me. And those are the people I feel like is real.